Hi, I'm Marjorie Helmer, and this is Baking Buyer's Baking Channel. Today is the first stop on our tour to discover America's bakeries. This is a show to recognize the people, and often family businesses, who work extremely hard to satisfy our nation's collective sweet tooth. Our first stop, Kansas City. While KC is known throughout the country for its legendary barbecue joints and fine steakhouses, it's also home to some quality bakery shops. And it's not far from the nation's breadbasket. I'm standing in front of the Kansas City Board of Trade, where more than 10 billion bushels of wheat can be traded in a single year. The Board of Trade is also home to the producers of this show, Soslan Publishing. Since 1922, Soslan has served the grain-based foods industry with trusted insights through a variety of trade journals and websites, including Milling and Baking News, Baking and Snack, and Baking Buyer. So come on, let's go discover what's baking in Kansas City.
Hi, I'm Barb Ratanina. Welcome to Barb's Kolache Bakery. You know, I had a job in an office working on a sales team. My husband and I had always joked around about opening a bakery, and it just seemed like the right time. My children were old enough where they could get up in the morning and, you know, get on the bus, and we just literally within a week decided to do it. So it was sort of a snap decision. As I said, had we done more research, we may have talked ourselves out of it, so maybe it was a good thing it was fast. So yeah, baking has always been something I've loved doing, and I had always considered or thrown around the idea of some kind of catering or just something in that type of the food industry. So this just sort of fit at the time and seemed like a good idea for Shawnee. You know, everything was sort of, the city is growing, this area, just a lot of things were timed right. So just decided to do it. My grandmother on my father's side is Czech, and you know, she made kolaches. She's from the old country. My aunt made them. They looked very different. Probably a little more traditional, intricate, you know, definitely when you make them on a smaller scale, they're more festive looking, you know, because it's for a reason. There were some changes that had to be made to recipes as far as quantity, ingredients, how much we were making, you know, things like that. But it was something that was in my growing up years. I wish I had paid more attention when my grandma did it. You know, as most kids, you kind of ignore it, and then later as an adult, you're like, God, I wish I'd asked this question and that question. But just kind of figure out those parts. Originally, a kolache was the dough, everything was inside the dough and it was closed up. And the purpose of that was a clean way to take it to lunch, to the field. The husband's going to work, you know, just wrap it in a tissue. Nowadays, they're more of a holiday thing because it is so time consuming, and, you know, all the times that the yeast has to rise, the bread, the dough. So they're really more of a holiday tradition now. Christmas, any kind of family get together. Which I hear from a lot of people, they like that they can buy them instead of having to invest that whole time in the entire kitchen and everything else. You know, in any bread product, you've got clear the kitchen, clear the day type thing. A lot of the different Eastern European countries have a variation. The way people traveled and country lines changed so much for such a time period there that you find similar things that probably started with the kolache, and or as my grandma called it, kolache. But the Czechs still claim it as their origin, their invention.